report or deliver a written report monthly to them of the income and expenses. She's an active owner. She actively participates in the decisions. And
Okay, you just stated her daughter assists her in the decision-making processes.
yes,
Why does she need assistance with decision-making processes?
because her husband is Daniel, is in a rest care facility, and she can't do everything. Her daughter is a successor trustee. They're planning to transfer at some point in the future, or when Aurora passes away, it will automatically transfer. So there's a sharing of these responsibilities so that when the transfer does occur, that it won't be something that the successor trustee has no knowledge of.
How old is Mrs. Ruffalo?
I don't know her age.
Approximately? No?
Well, she's older than I am, and I'm almost 62.
When did they move out of town, Mrs. Ruffalo and her husband, Daniel?
What do you mean by move? The large part haven't moved.
What is their county of residence?
I don't know. That's not within the purview of my knowledge.
Okay.
I don't know where Capitola is, do you?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah, I was making sure answer.
Okay. So, in retrospect, you mainly rely on contractors doing repairs to complete the repairs as they state they shall be done, and you don't have anyone else assisting you in reviewing the repairs, inspecting the repairs?
Well,
Let me
I believe that's a compound question.
Yeah, well, and you can answer that question, but I mean, would it depend
I've
on
already
the types
answered
of
it
repair?
before.
Well, I know, but what if it's just a
I couldn't
leaky
hear
faucet?
you.
Hold on a second. What if it's just a leak? He said I have already answered the question. What if it's would it depend on the type of work?
Okay, I think I won't ask you to restate your question, but I will attempt to answer what I think you're trying to ask, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Do you rely on contractors' honesty?
No, you don't need to re-ask the question.
All right, I thought you'd stopped.
He knows what you're at. Go ahead.
Contractors is a very broad word and has a lot of different meanings. A plumber can be a contractor and is a licensed plumbing contractor. So if there's a leaky faucet and I call the licensed plumber and direct him to contact the tenant, make arrangements for access, and to fix it, that's what happens. If it's a much more complex situation, such as a remediation or a lead abatement, I don't have the area of expertise. I have to rely on the experts, and particularly in your case, since State Farm is orchestrating all of the work, they're paying the contractors, they're selecting the contractors, they are the people that I rely on to do their work properly and to be properly supervised by State Farm and by all of the agencies that have given the clearances and the sign-offs on the inspections.
Okay, so did State Farm assign a project manager to overall supervise the overall project here from start to finish?
I have no knowledge of State Farm assigning any project manager. They may have, they may not have, I don't know.
Is it proper for you to rely on State Farm with no project manager to assure that all the repairs they state are done?
You don't understand.
Hold on, Joe. That's an objectionable question. That again, that's unintelligible.
All right,
Very ambiguous.
let me fix it. What is the duty of a project manager in terms of inspection of repairs at their conclusion?
What project manager? You're,
Property manager.
oh, please ask the question again.
What is the duty of the property manager when repairs are deemed to be complete for inspection of the repairs?
Okay, but I'm trying to objection. Hope versus a changing a wax ring in a toilet versus doing a couple $100,000 remediation. What, I assume it's different. If it's not, go ahead and answer her question. I mean.
It is different.
Okay.
You have to rely on the experts that, in this case, State Farm hired and paid significant amount of money for their expertise and for their reports, which were accepted by the City of San Diego's lead abatement division, or whatever the technical title. I apologize if I'm not correct on the exact terminology. The building inspector. All of those things are standards within the industry that everybody relies on. We're not experts. Real estate brokers and property managers are not experts in asbestos. We're not experts in lead abatement. We have to rely on the experts. And particularly when an insurance company is supervising in some capacity the work and ordering and paying for the work.
Would you?
And guaranteeing the work.
Who guaranteed the work, the abatement of the nuisances on the premises? Did anyone warrant that?
Let's go back to the insurance policy that I explained at the very beginning, near the beginning of this deposition. I explained to you that the Ruffolo Living Trust has always maintained an excellent insurance policy with State Farm on the property, which has coverage under the preferred contractor or premier contractor, whatever their terminology is. But when they step in and assume the work assigned their contractors to do it, when you let them do that, when the owner lets them do that, and it is ultimately the owner's decision, then they guarantee the work.
So did State Farm warrant that the property is now clear of asbestos and lead hazards?
Well, objection. That's an improper question. I think that was really up to the city. But if you know the answer to that question as to what State Farm has done, then you can answer.
State Farm has not personally or corporately warranted to me anything like that. The reports seem to be clear on their own face.
So after Blue Line completed its work, were there any warranties of clearances issued by State Farm or any other expert in environmental remediation?
Well, I believe State Farm is not an expert in environmental anything. That's not.
Or their contractors?
Please ask the question again.
Were any clearances of hazardous materials warranted after Blue Line completed their unit?
What do you mean warranted?
Is it warranted clear of asbestos and lead?
Here's,
A warranty,
okay.
a clearance.
No.
That's okay.
That's not how it's done, and you know it.
No, I don't know
Well,
it.
well, here's where hold on. Here's where I think the ambiguity was for both of us, is warranted can be used two ways. If you're using it as a form of warranty, as a guarantee, that's one meaning. If warranted as in needed, that's